I will call the Merrimack Valley School Board meeting of September 9th to order. So, a roll call.
Tracy Bricky,
I am here.
Melissa Muzzy.
Here.
Sally Hurst Dickinson, I understand is absent. Peggy Jones Blanchard, also absent. Jessica Wheeler Russell.
Here.
Present. Laura Vincent.
Here.
Eric Hansen.
Here.
Daniel York.
Here.
Owen Harrington.
Here.
Lauren Martin is also absent. And Julia Jones.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, then. So the minutes to the last board meeting, which was August 5th. Any corrections? Sally not being here, you know.
It doesn't have Jess's last name.
Yeah.
Where?
In the roll call. It just says Jess.
Oh. Oh, sorry. So so it doesn't have just his last name where? In the roll call?
In the roll call.
At the top.
I
Okay.
believe towards the bottom, but I don't think it
Yeah.
really matters
Okay,
subsequently.
okay.
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes with the amendment that my name is present. in
Okay.
Total.
Okay,
Second.
okay. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I forgot the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we stand for the pledge, please? I won't make anybody else do it because I asked her, because I forgot. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, guys. So, finance report does not, oh no, public comment. I'm sorry. Marcia? Nothing? Anybody else? Okay. Finance report does not happen until October. So that'll be along in the next meeting. Good news.
As always, we have a bunch of good news that's in your digital packet. Hopefully you had a chance to cruise through. We've had a great start to the year. We do have a couple of presentations that will add on to that good news. We have some good news that's happening in both Pennacook Elementary and Bosquen Elementary. And we have a little presentation about the balance bikes and the grant that was received to have that take place. So if I can introduce Jen Moore to introduce her speaker, maybe, and Nick will hand over a mic.
Yeah, so we are very fortunate to have Tim here to talk about. Thank you. This is very formal. We are very excited here to have Tim talk to us a little bit, or talk to you a little bit about the balance bikes that we have that Pennacook and Bosquen will be using. So I'm going to hand the mic over to him and let him explain.
Hi, and I actually want to include Webster, Salisbury, and Loudon in that. I expect that they'll be shared amongst all 5 of your schools. So Tim Blagden with the Friends of the Concord Lake Sunapee Rail Trail and also with Central New Hampshire Bicycle Coalition. And we've done this at 2 other school districts, donating balance bikes, which are bikes that don't have pedals. And it's a bike that takes the place of using training wheels. You teach kids how to balance, and from there they can migrate to a standard pedal bike. And we're also donating those. And the balance bikes actually have conversion kits, so they can go from being a pure balance bike to being a pedal bike. This has worked really well in the Concord School District and in the Kearsarge School District. The Concord Lake Sunapee Rail Trail was highly motivated to make this donation because our rail trail is as close as Pennacook down on Fisherville Road. We have a parking lot, and it winds its way out toward I-89 exit 7, which is close to Webster. And there are other rail trails, the Northern Rail Trail in Bosquen and the Merrimack River Greenway Trail going down. So a lot of good, safe places to practice riding a bike. For Central New Hampshire Bicycle Coalition, we run a bike swap. It's the weekend after Mother's Day every year. It's where you can get a new to you bicycle, and that's in great condition at a very reasonable price. So we're hoping that families will, with new riders, will come down, get a bike, and trade in any bikes they're not using, and have the bikes they want at their home. We were helped in this endeavor by significant support from GE Aerospace Foundation. I want to give them a big shout out to them. 6 aerospace engineers are going to be putting together 42 of these bikes Friday morning up in Warner. The Granite State Wheelers Bicycle Club also helped, and the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation helped, and the Brain Injury Association of New Hampshire. And we could not have done this without S&W Sports. So this is, in addition to the bicycles, you get helmets, storage racks, and all the other equipment that the PE teachers will need. So we're here today to ask if the school district will accept the gift of the bikes. And that's it. And I'll take any questions.
So, Tim, sorry. So is it 2 bikes at the 2 schools?
No, it's a fleet of 21 balance bikes and 21 pedal bikes. So you're getting about $10,000 worth of equipment. And a PE unit, I think, typically runs 5 to 8 weeks. Somebody in education back me up here. So the bikes would all be at one school for a short period of time. They run the unit, and then your facilities crew shuttles them off to the next school, and they run the unit. So you can do this inside in a multi-purpose room. You can do this outside in a parking lot if you cone it off. So the schools might, from year to year, change who goes first in the season, who's got them in the middle of winter and has to do it inside versus who gets them last in the spring and sends the new riders off for the summer. But so it's a fleet big enough to handle any class that the teachers would have.
So I'm sorry, you said 21 pedal bikes and 21 balance bikes.
Yep.
And the PE, the actual PE unit,
The
curriculum comes with it?
Yes.
Or- yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a training taking place tomorrow where Abbott Downing's PE teacher is bringing up, sharing what he learned last year with the other PE teachers at SAU 8, and Joey Ellis is going down for that, and then we'll bring word back to Sue Staples.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
So we have in our policies that we can accept the gift. We do not need a motion unless somebody feels that they would like to make a motion, and then that way we would have it on the books. But I mean, would you rather just say yay or nay? I mean, I'm
I'll make a motion to
Oh.
accept the bikes.
okay.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Perfect.
Can I just say something briefly? I'll be brief. My grandchildren.
Okay, brief. I'm timing you.
Children in Brooklyn, Massachusetts are learning to ride it back this way. They
Uh-huh.
went from scooters to balance bikes and Thomas is still not quite with the regular back yet, but he's getting there. But Fiona, they went this way. It's such a natural progression. It's kind of skipped the tricycle thing.
Excellent. That's awesome.
It works. I mean, I like the way it works. It makes so much more sense than it used to when I was growing up.
Thank you.
And we do have a presentation from MVHS, the athletic director. Kenny Edwards is going to share some numbers and give you an idea of how things are starting out this year. Tim, thank you very much for your work on this and thinking about the Merrimack Valley be great to see more kids out there on bikes.
So good evening. So I'm going to give you an update on athletics, and at any point, if you have any questions or anything comes up that you'd like to discuss, then stop me at any time. But we have a lot of stuff to discuss for athletics. We're very proud of what we're doing. The Hall of Fame ceremony will be Friday, September 27th. 5 p.m. will be a private reception for the inductees, their families, and close friends. At 6 p.m., we'll have the induction ceremony in the auditorium, which is open to anybody. And very proud to say that our inductees this year, Mr. Tom Burke and Miss Christy Schofield. And so we've reached out to both. Both have contacted us, and we're looking forward to a fantastic evening. As you know, the next day is homecoming day. We have 9 teams in action this year, beginning at 9 a.m. And ending with the football game at 2:30 p.m. So we're looking for a great day of athletics that day. Fall sports, we have 221 total athletes, which is up from last year. We have 122 male, 99 female. Marching band, we have 52 students. Our band director, Danny Janis, has elevated the expectations of our program, and she's also trying to do more in the community with parades. I know we were at the Loudon Old Home Day Parade. They also practice twice a week on the practice field after school, in addition to the 6th or 7th period practice that they do every day on the practice field. So they're working very, very hard. Our color guard has 9 participants, and that group is growing fast. We're up from 4 last year to 9 this year, and we anticipate a lot more color guard members next year. They are practicing again at least twice a week, led by sponsor Karen Lewis. They participate in the Loudon Old Home Day Parade, as well as performing at home football games. So our fall sports team report. Varsity football lost a tough one the other night, 14-6. They're 0-1. Boys soccer is 1-2. Varsity girls soccer is 1-1-2. They lost a tough one tonight. They do have 2 ties, and those of you that are following high school sports in New Hampshire closely know that this year the NHIAA did away with overtime in regular season games. So it's played until the very end of the regulation game, and then it ends in a tie if that's the way it falls. Varsity field hockey won today, so they are 2-1. Cross country participates tomorrow at Sauhegan. We had a great showing last weekend at the Great Glen up on Mount Washington, which is an event that we do every year. So we've got some very, very good cross-country runners, and it is still early in the season. Our Capital City Invitational, which is our big home meet, is going to be on October 17th, and that's usually right around the time where we peak. We usually have a couple of student athletes in cross-country that are in contention for state titles at the Division II level. Our bass fishing team has 5 team members. I'm proud to say Nick is one of those 5. We are participating in 2 invitationals this year for the first time. First one will be this Thursday. The next one will be September the 18th. So we're very excited about that. Golf was elevated to the varsity status last year and almost won the state title. As a matter of fact, we had the individual state titleist in Division II. He finished in 5th place overall at the Meet of Champions. Or the Tournament of Champions. So their current record is 2-3, but they're in action today, and I don't think they've finished yet. I haven't gotten a report today. Varsity volleyball. We have a great article in the newspaper this morning about our first ever varsity home match, which was last Friday. The girls are working very, very hard. They're very motivated, and they're representing MV very, very well. We're excited for volleyball season this year. Homecoming report. 9 of our fall sports will compete in home games, culminating with the varsity game versus Kennett. Many of our clubs will maintain booths at the entrance to the stadium and on campus, including robotics. Robotics wants to have a booth at every home football game, which we're very excited about. Some additions to the athletic department. If you haven't been out to the new track, I would cordially invite you to visit the new track. It is a beautiful shade of MV blue, and it is awesome. It is very fun to walk on. I'm not much of a runner, but I walk on it a lot, and it is very comfortable. So I would encourage you to try it. We have a new scoreboard on the stadium field with LED lighting. It too is blue with a beautiful truss over top. Thanks to Fred Regan for all his help with that. We did replace the Coke signs on the field hockey, baseball, softball scoreboards because we're no longer being sponsored by Coke. So we replaced those with the MVV. So if you haven't been to baseball or softball or field hockey, we have replaced those. The scoreboards look a lot better. We have 2 new windscreens on Beatty Field with the MVV. We added 3 AEDs to our outside fields, the concession stand, the tower, and the track shed. All of our coaches, including middle school coaches, have keys to these areas. This puts us in compliance with the new state law regarding the AEDs and access to AEDs on our outdoor facilities. We have Brittany Tebow to thank for that. Brittany Warren was our trainer. She got married. She's now Brittany Tebow, and she's worked very hard on our EAP to make sure we're in compliance. Weekly athletic newsletters are still going out. We're trying to add something new each year. If you ever have any questions or if there's something you'd like for me to throw in there, just let me know. Those go out to over 2,500 people every Friday morning. So we're very excited about that. Athletic Department Instagram page, we're still operating that. And basically what that is every morning when I get into work, I throw out an Instagram or I post on Instagram about our games that day. And I usually post the team picture so that all the athletes are included, their parents, can look at it. Even if you're not on social media and you don't want Instagram, we figured a way to link it to our athletic website. So you just click on the icon and you can still follow our feed, even though you don't actually have an account yourself. Parents' nights, we're continuing to do that. That's a big hit before the season starts every year. We meet with all of the parents and the student athletes the Wednesday before every season starts. The Monday, we meet with the coaches. Wednesday, we meet with the parents. Then once the season starts, I meet with all the athletes, just a little cozy conversation between me and the athletes to talk about sportsmanship and representing MV and competing hard. But kind of like the NHIAA said, winning is for a day, but sportsmanship is for a lifetime. And that's what we're trying to get across to our kids. So we have Athletic Coaches Handbook. We're continuing to build on this. This year, we spent a lot of time with the EAP. We spent a lot of time with the changes in coaches' education that are happening within the NHIAA. I'm proud to say that I represent MVHS as a member of the Coaches Education Committee for the state. I'm also involved in the NHADA and the National Athletic Directors Association as a member of the DEIB committee on the national level. So I feel like we're representing MVHS very well, both statewide and nationally. But if there's any questions you ever have on any of that, I'll be more than happy to answer that. So lastly, fall senior nights. Field hockey will be October 15th. Cross country will be October 17th at our Capital City Classic. Girls soccer will be October 22nd. Volleyball, October 23rd. Boys soccer, October 25th, and football, spirit, and golf will hold together on the stadium field on November 1st when we play Pembroke. So that's all I have. Very proud about what we're doing. Are there any questions? Anything I can elaborate on for you? Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So next on the agenda is our student rep report. I hope he didn't take too much of your stuff there, Nick.
I know, right? He took a few, but I can restate a few of them.
Okay, good.
Mr. Edwards has been great. Of course, he let me start up the Sports and Woods podcast, which is still going strong. So thank you, Mr. Edwards, as he walks out. So my first student rep report of the year, the school year has gone off to a great start. Last year was kind of the official beginning of the new cell phone policy. And we saw great results last year, and we're really seeing great results this year. In all of my classes, I haven't seen a single kid using the cell phone, and I'm sure staff can kind of attest to that, how good the students have been. Towards the end of last year, we started the Smart Pass system. The middle school had been using it, and now we started using it. It kind of tracks the amount of time you're out of the classroom. It's a great place to where teachers can kind of see if you're leaving the classroom at the same time each day of the week. They can kind of see that. And no students have really fought back on that, so it's going well. And yeah, kids are just really looking forward to this year, especially the athletics. I've heard a lot of great stuff about the sports teams. To kind of restate some of the sports news, bass fishing, yes, it is a real sport, NHIAA sport. Golf, boys and girls soccer, cross country, football, field hockey, cheer, and of course, as Mr. Edwards stated, the first ever varsity girls volleyball team. So super exciting there. Football has their first home football game this Friday, 6:30 on the game field against Bow. That is the New Hampshire Tackles Hunger Game. So you don't have to pay to get in. If you bring 3 non-perishable canned food items or whatever, you get into the game for free. Homecoming Day will be Saturday, September 28th, a fun-filled day of athletic events and booths run by various clubs at MVHS. The day will end with a dance right here, 7 p.m. They just brought back the homecoming dance last year. Really great feedback from the student body at that one. The Friday, September 27th, will be Athletics Hall of Fame induction at 6 in the auditorium. And then the Thursday of homecoming weekend will be the annual bonfire for the students. Last year was like the first time in a while it hadn't gone like rained out or wind out, believe it or not. We've had a few years where like the wind was blowing too hard, so we couldn't have the bonfire. So hopefully we can keep it going for the second straight year. Knock on wood. If you take a drive out to the student parking lot, you'll see some brand new pops of color. A few years back, I believe it was 2020, the seniors started their tradition of kind of painting their parking spots. There's some really good ones. I saw one kind of closer to the middle school. They were like back-to-back spots right next to each other, and it was shake and bake. So that one was cool. There's some really, really good ones, some album covers, all sorts of stuff. So I'd make sure to go check out the student parking lot and see all the paintings of the parking spots that the seniors did. Clubs and organizations are getting ready for a really busy year. A lot of talk from the National Honor Society and all the other honor societies of what they're going to do for the community this year. The Drama Club announced their musical this year. Drum roll. Into the Woods. So Into the Woods is going to be this year's musical. It's kind of like mix up characters from Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, Rapunzel, Little Red Riding Hood, and more. The seniors are very, very happy for this. This is like a few of our seniors' favorite show, so they're very excited for this one. Also, Mr. Costa, who's the director again, and Mrs. Babcock, who's the vocal director and also co-director of the play. They've set up kind of like a ranking system for us. So the more tickets we sell, like the more we level up pretty much. And like the final one is last year we hosted the Coscars. So the Oscars for it. They give out awards, but the final boss pretty much will be when you get 2,000s of tickets sold for both shows. Mr. Costa is going to have to dye his hair live at the Coscars. So just something to look forward to for the theater department this year. And I have some jokes. Alrighty. So, what U.S. state has the most math teachers? Massachusetts.
Oh my gosh.
And why don't fish go on vacation? Because they are always in a school. That's a classic. I'm excited for my junior year. 2 more years.
Nick, what time did you say this Friday's game is?
6:30. Yeah. 6:30.
Next would be committee reports. So policy committee has met.
Yes, policy committee met on August 12th. It was a pretty packed meeting. For tonight, we have 2 policies that are here for a second read. EHAB, which is the data governance and security policy, and we have IHBAB, which was the special ed evaluations policy. I have not received any feedback. I don't believe Catherine has for any changes. So one of the first things we'd like to do is if we could get those moved forward for approval, that would be great. And then the other policies are in your packet for a first read. We have the first of our Title IX policies, AC, we had originally thought we were going to need to bring all of them to the board, but this is the one that has the greatest impact or the biggest change. And this is the non-discrimination, equal opportunity, and affirmative action policy. And the policy recommendation that we have for you tonight for first read is from our legal Woodsum and Drummond and Woodsum. Sorry. And we did look at the school board policy, but we got actually, there's been a lot of presentations at the school for administrators on the changes for this. So that is in your packet for a first read. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. This one was an emergency authorization because this is already in legislation. So we would bring it back if there's any changes that come through from legislation that impact it. So I do apologize. Yes, this was a emergency approval for one read.
Just the AC?
Just the AC. Yep, thank you. I apologize. I had that written down. Then we also have in your packet tonight, EFDA for a first read. This is the school meal plan payment draft. The language was cleaned up a little bit. There was a section that was taken out as it needed to be clarified. And so this is just for a first read. We also have IGE, which is our parental objections to specific course material. And this one just has a little bit of an update. And this was also worked on with Randy and our librarians, right?
This one is in response to legislation.
Yep. But we also worked on it with worked on it with the librarians or media specialists. And yes, all of these are in response to legislation, aren't they? Except for the school meal plan, right? I feel like there's one more in here. Did I miss one? Oh, yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it. So JICLR is our technology responsible use agreement, and that one was updated with our technology director. We made some minor corrections to punctuation and stuff when we reviewed it as a committee, but we are recommending this for a first read as put together by the technology team.
So, excuse me, so, EHAB and IHBAB are both second reads. Sorry, are both second reads that you did not get any feedback.
Correct.
So,
We would-
motion,
Yes, we would like a motion to move those forward.
would you like to?
I can make a motion that we move EHAB and IHBAB forward
Second,
for approval.
I'll second that.
any discussion? I know that that was from August, so. All those in favor of those two?
Aye.
Aye.
And then we have emergency AC,
Correct.
and is JIC, no,
Mm-mm.
is the IGE also emergency? Did I hear that?
No.
No, okay.
No.
So then AC, only one read. Would anybody make a motion for AC?
I will.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion about AC? Would you like a chance to read through it? Yeah, no?
Did we have these in the packet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're in
Yep.
the packet. They were in the packet. When we got the packet, yes. Do you want to talk about what maybe the changes were?
Just have to pull. Yeah.
Was it, were they very extensive, the changes?
But they're just to be in compliance with the law.
Right.
So it's,
Right.
I
okay,
mean, this is directly from our lawyers.
this is, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that kind of says it all. It's directly from the attorneys. We probably don't have anything that we can do about it. So there's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, dokey. And then EFDA and IGE and JICLR
Mhm.
are first reads, and we will, if you have any comments about them or any changes you would like to see, make
Mhm.
sure you get in touch with either Melissa or Catherine before the next meeting.
Set some committee meetings.
Yep, policy would definitely like to schedule a meeting. We're looking at either the 16th or the 23rd. I didn't have a chance to check in with our team to see which one would be best for everybody else. But if we can do the 16th at like 5:30, if that would work for everybody, that might be the easiest thing to do. You're good. Are you all set? Can you do next Monday at 5:30?
I won't be able to meet till Special Olympics is all over. so
Okay.
I won't make that meeting.
All right. Eric, do we have you for that meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
All right. We just have to check in with Sally. So if Sally can do it, we'd have a quorum. I'm sorry that, I mean, it would later be easier for you. I don't want to keep excluding you from meetings.
Practice, I could get here for 6:30, but that's really late for you guys.
I don't know how the rest of the committee feels.
For me, that's fine, but I don't have far to drive. So
Yeah,
know-
I don't really have far to drive either. Eric, would 6:30 work for you?
How many more of those do we? I prefer 5:30.
There's just
but if
one
it's
more.
only- Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're okay with the next one.
The
If,
tournament's at the end of the-
okay, so yeah, if we could do 6:30, just because I'd like to try and accommodate as much of our committee members as I can.
6:30 on the
16th.
So I'd like to propose a long-range plan, since that's at 6:30 to 5:30 on the 16th for the folks on the long-range planning committee.
5:30.
Does that change work for you guys? Okay. I didn't know if you already had it scheduled, so. Perfect.
Thank you.
Your voice is important.
Any other committees?
When
Yep.
is negotiations going to be meeting next?
Wednesday at 4:00.
Gotcha.
Is that for, not the whole committee, just for a few people?
Yeah, just representatives. And depending on how the meetings are, we may be looking for a replacement on the 25th. Jess will be unavailable to be there on the 25th. So depending on how the next couple of weeks, so if you could, if you want to look at the 25th at 4:00, if that's a time that you might be available, that'd be great.
What day of the week is that? Is that Wednesday?
Wednesday, yep.
Okay, then. New business, New Hampshire School Board Assembly, Delegate Assembly.
So as we do every year, we try to send someone or a couple of folks to the delegate assembly later on this evening at 8:00. To be more specific, you'll be receiving the 2023 continuing resolutions from the New Hampshire School Board Association, as well as the proposed 2024 resolutions. So we're getting those out there so that you can take a look at them. Then at the October meeting, it'll be in the packet. And if you had any, issue with any of the proposed resolutions, that would be the time. We do need to elect someone to speak on the board's behalf. Last year, we had Melissa as the delegate and Jessica was the alternate, in case the Queen can't continue wearing the crown. I guess you have that alternate. I believe they'd both be willing to serve again this year. So if you folks would like to make a motion and vote on that to allow them to go, unless there's someone else that would like to step up. I think that's where we stand. That's on October 19th.
Thank you.
Second?
Okay. All those in favor of Melissa and Jess being our representatives for the New Hampshire School Board Association's Delegate Assembly? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh, I thought there was
Did
going
you
to
already
be
register?
more of a
I
fight.
did.
Good, me
Did
too.
you already register?
Well,
We want to make sure we covered our bases.
I was gonna say, we registered, but it was only to hold the spot, so anybody, I could have given it to somebody else, but we just wanted to make sure the spot was reserved. But I just wanted to make sure she registered.
Okay, so meal price increase.
So we put this on here as an action item, just in case we had everything where we needed to be. We're still working with the PLE tool, which is the tool that they use to figure out if you're charging the right amount and, what the cutoff would be to, the break-even point. So we're going to put this off until October. We wanted it on here in case we were ready. We're still waiting on an application and then to really dig into the PLE tool and look at the prices at different levels. So I'll just leave it at that and know that this will come back at the October meeting.
So we're trying to get into compliance with what the government says we should be charging.
Yeah, so the PLE, if you remember, every couple of years, typically there'd be some sort of presentation. We've had a while that we've gone without. Yeah. And we've actually, Hillary would have the exact numbers, but it's been better in the last couple of years as far as what we've been charging and that break-even point. But we still like to dig in with the tool. So if it tells us we're supposed to raise prices by, let's say 50 cents, then the board could say, all right, let's split the difference this year, or let's go with the full amount. But that tool really digs in to help you find that
Would
break-even
that be
point.
taking place this year, like as soon as we make that decision?
That would be up to the board when they would like to do that. Typically, we like to give families a little bit of notice. And I don't want to start throwing numbers out there because I don't want people to go back on the thing and say, you said we were this. But if let's say that we were down 30 cents and the board said, you know what, I'd like to do something gradual, then you could do, let's raise it a dime each month for the next 3 months to get to that 30 cents, as opposed to that 30-cent increase being all at one time. Or we may find that we're pretty close to what the PLE tool is saying. And if that's the case, then prices would remain the same for another year until we dig in with the tool.
Thank you.
Make sure we get a report if it does remain the same.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Are we
So
at,
Bless you.
are we at a deficit right now with like the line item or what is it?
Well, by statute, you can't go into the next year with the lunch program being in the red. So whatever it is, we have to balance it out. And this tool is part of balancing that out. So it's by statute that has to take place. That's separate from like an unpaid lunch debt, which carries on with the students. In fact, you'll notice that one of the policies that you're looking at has to do with that. And it tells you it's the same as if you take a book and decide you want to rip the covers off, you owe for that book. It's the same thing that debt will stay with you until you've paid it off. And, one way or the other, it's going to catch up with you. So we don't, just waive that, but you'll notice that in the meal payment policy that you have in your packet.
Any other questions? Okay, next is the manifest and journal entries. Both Melissa and I have signed them. Most of you had access to them online.
Slacker.
The tech person was having tech.
I was.
Yeah, she was having technical
Cursed.
issues, so I would look for a motion to accept the manifest and journal entries.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Eric.
Second.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
couldn't
Laura.
remember the-
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I'm gonna abstain because
I also will abstain because I was unable to do them.
You had tech issues too.
I sure did.
Yep,
Sure did.
sure did. Okay, next on the agenda is the board chairperson's report. Tomorrow is election day. Everybody get out and vote. That's all I got to say.
Well, Boston's closed, right? They're doing remote.
Yes. So Boston is going remote. We decided November 5th we were closing.
Yes.
Okay.
But the high school is having voting here, but they're not closing.
Correct. And no other school has voting in the school. It's just the high school. And we did a test run last year with one of the smaller elections where we roped off that area, moved classes from that wing. The only student access is to the nurses' room in that wing. And you basically walk in that front door, it's roped off, you go in, and it worked pretty well. We'll have police details and things like that
Where
for
did they
voting.
vote? In the auditorium?
In the gym. Yep.
But they came in the front door?
Nope, they come in the side door.
Okay.
Yep. So the door by the athletic wing. So everything's roped off. So you come in one door, you go into the gym, you vote, you come out and you go out the door that's right next to it going
And
out.
the
So,
bathrooms can be included in there?
Yes.
too, so.
Okay, Assistant Super. Catherine.
All right. So on August 13th through 15th, SAU 46 welcomed 25 new educators to Merrimack Valley. And Pam Hill, of course, leads this annual event as our teacher mentor. The goal of the first 2 days was to prepare our new teachers for the first few weeks of school, create opportunities to make connections and start building relationships with their colleagues. Our new educators were introduced to district goals, curriculum, and procedures. The 2 days were capped off with a panel of experienced educators from around the district who came to offer advice and answer questions. Throughout the course of those 2 days, members of the admin team dropped in so that everybody around the district could meet all of the new hires. And then on the final day, our new teachers spent time with their teammates in their home schools. And it'll be here before we know it, but in a few months, Randy and I will begin to go and visit each of our new hires within their schools. And when we do those visits, we check on how their year is going. We'll inquire about their mentor experience and offer any support that may be needed. Randy and I have also met with each of the administrators in the district in advance of the year starting. They have all set goals which align with our larger district focus of connection. And then again, we periodically touch base with that group and so that they're able to share their progress towards those goals. And we have been busy visiting schools throughout the district as the year has started. And I'll knock on wood, as Nick did earlier. It has been a very smooth, positive start to our school year, and I'm happy to report that.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't steal any of yours.
I have nothing to say. No.
Seriously?
She said it much better than I was going to say it anyway, so that's fine. So a couple of other things that we did get around to all of the schools for the opening day, and we kind of bring the traveling road show where we give out pins for years of service, and that's always a good experience. And we've gone back and forth between doing the, getting out to all of the schools or bringing them all together as a large group. And we have sort of defaulted now to that, the traveling road show, as they call us, as we go around and, tell a little story and give the pins. And it really is good to see the smiling faces and the energy in each of the buildings. So that was a great experience for us. We're working with some legislators on some legislative service requests, because there are some things that we feel is something that's beneficial to the school. So we've really tried to strengthen those relationships. So I, spoke with folks today, and so that, is something new that we haven't really got. We've tried to establish those relationships, but now we're to the point that seeing some things that could improve both our standing fiscally, as well as things that are just beneficial to either educators or students. We're trying to reach out and be proactive with our engagement with folks in the legislature. Catherine and I will be going to the first meeting of the Lakes Region Superintendent's Organization this coming Wednesday. I'm currently the chair. It was one of those things where, everyone was in a line, and then they say step forward, and I wasn't quick enough and everyone stepped back. But that's a great group, because it really does give us a feel for things that are going on in the surrounding districts, and, some of the same issues that we have, whether it's with, hiring or attendance, whatever those things are, they're experiencing the same thing. They're, because, they're very close. So we're dealing with the same pool of applicants. If we're talking about employees, and if we have a transient population, they're going from one of our towns to the other. So it's a really great opportunity to connect with folks in the area. And I know that, Catherine and I certainly get a lot out of it, and we end up talking for a couple hours even after that meeting about, some of the things that went on to see how we can improve things for Merrimack Valley. So that's coming up this Wednesday. That's our first meeting. And I believe I've mentioned this before, the Chris McAuliffe Technology Conference. Karen just reminded me before we started that I'm on the list as the keynote speaker, which I'm glad she mentioned that, so I can get working on that presentation. That'll be day 2 of the Chris McAuliffe presentation, and I'll be there. The day before, I believe that I mentioned Jason Scrow, who is in charge of the Atom Group. He does the cybersecurity. He's the keynote speaker for that Wednesday, which he's going to give the warning, and I'm going to go give the, but if everything's great, this could happen. So we're going to be the yin and yang of AI and the cyber world. So looking forward to that experience as well. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you. Oops. So then we come to public comment number 2. Marcia? Still nothing, huh? Okay. We do not have reason to go into non-public session. Whoop, whoop. So that crosses off 15, 16, and 17. So number 18 is adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Excellent. Anybody opposed? Thank you all very much.
Again, I thought somebody was gonna say-